Hello, 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 what's up people of the internet? It's me, Dark313 Knight, back again with a brand new mod showcase for y'all, and today we're gonna be checking out the Confluence mod, a mod that adds a lot of things from Terraria into Minecraft. I ain't gonna lie, I've been doing a let's play of this mod on my channel. I've been enjoying it, and I thought why not try to make a mod showcase for you guys. But this mod showcase is gonna be a little bit different because there's way too much things to go over in a mod showcase in this mod that it adds, because it adds new ores and new biomes, new wood types and new blocks, furniture, all this technical doohickey, new ores and new items to craft things with, new weapons and more, and some fish, even some new fishing mechanics and more fishes, a bunch of new potions and food. Way more than you will ever need tools, like so many tools and more, like boats and stuff. A lot of new accessories, which are like Terraria accessories brought over to Minecraft, which are super cool, and a lot of armor and weapons, bows, mage stuff, whips, bosses, and so much more that I couldn't possibly all covered in one video without the video being 3 hours long. So what I'm gonna do today is show you the basics of the mod and how to get started, and I'm gonna go over how to summon each boss and fight them in my personal playstyle. Of course, I'm gonna show you how I beat them, and you guys can beat them in any way you want, but I'll show you the equipment that I beat them with, how I went about it, and just, yeah. I'm not gonna lie, if you enjoy this showcase, don't forget to smash that like button and hit that subscribe button to see more. And without further ado, let me show you how to get started with the Confluence mod. Okay, first things first, you guys just loaded up a brand new world of the Confluence mod, and you want to get started. Where do you start? Well, that's easy. First things first, you may just want to get your health up and your mana up. And you may be asking, Dark, but how do I get my mana up and my health up? I've never played Terraria or this mod before, and I will help you with that right now, which is fairly easy. First things first, me personally, I always go for my health up first, and that's fairly easy. You just travel deep into the caves, well, not that deep, but like into the caves a fair bit, and you locate these life crystals over here. They give off a faint glow, so you just walk up to them, easy as pie, and with any type of pickaxe, even a wooden pickaxe, and you just break them. When you break them, you'll be given a life crystals, and once you have life crystals, it's as easy as hitting right click. Each life crystal will give you 2 hearts, alright? They will first stack to purple, then go to cyan, which is beautiful, and then finally hit green when you're at 4 hearts, alright? 4 stacks of hearts, which is amazing. And obviously after this, you can't get any more health unless you get life fruit, which comes after you beat the wall of flesh, so you don't have to worry about that right now. And obviously this is awesome. This gives you a lot of health, but you may be asking, Dark, what happens if I have extra, or like I keep finding them and I keep mining them? Well, that's great to hear, because not only do these guys increase your health up to 4 stacks, but you can also sell them to the NPCs that this mod adds for 1 gold and 50 silver a pop, which is super useful. So if you guys still collect these way after you have reached max health, you can still get use of them by selling them, or by making heart lanterns, which increase your life regeneration when placed nearby. So this will be good for boss fights, or just by placing around your house so you can heal yourself passively while you're at home. And that's very awesome, and I really do enjoy life crystals. Even after I get full health, I always find a use by selling them or just making them into heart lanterns. Next thing you'll probably want to upgrade is your mana bar, especially if you plan on using some of the more magical weapons this mod adds. And you may be like, Dark, how do I do that? Well, here, you get fallen stars. fallen stars can be found multiple places. The most common place to find them is just walking around nighttime. Stars will randomly fall around you. They'll make a little sound effects. You go towards the sound effect and you'll pick yourself up a fallen star. These fallen stars are very useful because they can be crafted with 5. Once you have 5, they can be crafted in a crafting table in this grid to get yourself a mana crystal. Yeah, mana crystal. And with this mana crystal, hold up, blink. With this mana crystal, you can increase your mana 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. 9 times. Alright, once you have reached 9 mana, let me, hold up, give me a second, there you go. Once you reach 9 mana crystals, you may be like, Dark, but what do I do with the mana crystals? Well, same thing goes as last time. You can sell them, but they don't sell for that much. They sell for 25, which is like, kind of mid, I ain't gonna lie. But they can also be used to craft a freaking iron golem staff, which summons iron golems for the summoners out there. And also, if you throw them into Shimmer, you can get arcane crystals, which will permanently increase your mana regen. Shimmer is like a lake you can find underground. It's like purple and glowy. You just toss things in there and it will just do that. And this goes into a perfect opportunity to show off the new GUI for this mod. Let's say, dang, I have like so much things in my inventory. You may be like, damn, I don't really have anywhere to put it. You just click on this little tree icon, and this is one of my favorite things about this mod. There's a trash can. Yes, guys, the long-awaited trash can. So if your inventory's filled with junk, bro, you can just toss it all in the trash can. And there is a way to make a star, like a regen for mana, and that is the star in the bottle. It will increase mana regeneration when placed nearby, which is way useful, I ain't gonna lie. And it looks pretty cool too. You can also do a lot more things with stars than you can do with hearts, because you can make the enchanted boomerang. You can also make potions of every variety. You can make a meteor compass, will locate meteors once a meteor falls. How do I get a meteor in my world? You have to destroy these little crystals you find in the corrupted biome, either crimson or crimson or corruption. I will be showing those off later because they come with their respectful bosses. And you also can craft potions. You can make these star arrows, which finally give fleshing tables a use, because a fleshing table now will have this UI, which you can put arrows in the middle, and you can put all sorts of goodies on the top to make custom things. It's fire, I ain't gonna lie. I'm so happy they finally gave these arrows a design, especially since you can get 30 arrows now by just putting stone, a wood of your choice, and some wool. I am not gonna lie, this is gonna make making arrows a breeze. But yeah, you can make star arrows, which will penetrate. It will have no gravity, plus it does piercing, which is awesome. It can hit multiple enemies at once. You can use some meteor bars, a mini shark, and 5 fallen stars to make a star cannon. And you may be like, Dark, but look, this isn't a normal crafting table. What in the heck is a heavy workbench? Well, don't worry, dear viewer. I got you. Once again, that's another important thing, and that is the third step to really get started in this mod. You have to make yourself a heavy workbench, because this puny crafting table isn't going to cover it. It's just not enough space for all of these awesome new armor sets and stuff. As you can see, a lot of these things will be... Hold up. Well... A lot of these tools will take humongous space. They're not crafted like normal tools. So you're going to have to make yourself a heavy workbench. How do you do that? Well, it's as simple as pie. Don't worry. It's only 1 anvil and 2 crafting tables in this pattern. You got the anvil in the middle, and then you sandwich it with 2 crafting tables, and there, bing bada boom, you have yourself a heavy workbench. You can craft all sorts of yummy and goody things. I highly recommend you install Not Enough Items mod that will show you all the items in the game, and just by right clicking them you can see all the crafting recipes in survival. Let me show you real fast. Boink. So let's say, I really want to make this boomerang. You can click here, you can go here, and you can see, oh, we need hell bars, hell, stone, ingot, and friggin' enchanted boomerang, and you can craft that. I highly suggest this mod. I'll also leave it in the description below, because obviously I'm not going to be covering all these crafting recipes, so I'll also leave you guys with the tools to be able to be like, oh, I want to craft that. Bing, bada, boom, now you can craft that. And without further ado, now that we have the basics covered, I think it's time that we move on to our first boss. So I'll see you guys all at King Slime. Alright guys, the first boss we're gonna go over is probably King Slime. He's the easiest out of all the bosses, and he's probably the first one you should take on, but that doesn't mean he's weak. He's the easiest. He's definitely not weak, because I literally just died. This is my second time recording this, and I want to show you all the things about King Slimes and all the ways you can summon him and beat him. There is an event called Raining Slimes that does have a low chance of happening, but at the end of it, there's a chance he just naturally spawns on you, so that is a good thing to be aware of. If it starts raining slimes, be prepared maybe for a King Slime boss fight, but don't worry, that's like super rare, and if it does happen, you'll probably be far along in your world to the point where that won't bother you. But let's say you want to summon King Slime, well, that's fairly easy. First things first, you're gonna need yourself a platinum crown or a gold crown. You may be asking, Dark, how do I get a platinum crown or a gold crown? Well, that's easy. You first got to get yourself platinum ore. This is what platinum ore looks like in its stone variant and in its deep slate variant. Or you can get gold ore, which is just gold ore. Frickin' stone gold ore, deep slate gold ore. You just put them in a boat shape like this with a ruby in the middle. Ruby ore looks like this. You can find it in stone variant and in deep slate variant. You just mine this up and, well, you don't mine it up in creative mode, hold up. You just mine it up with the iron pickaxe and you get ruby ore or ruby. So once you have ruby, you just get yourself anything, gold or platinum. This will work with either or. I'm just using platinum because, yeah, platinum. And you just put it like so, and then you get yourself a platinum crown. You can wear the platinum crown. It looks all cool and fun. You can also wear the gold crown. It also looks good and fine. I'm not gonna lie, these are very cool cosmetics. And you can also, let's say, hey, Dark, I want to wear the crown. You can put this here in these, like, what you call it? Vanity armor sets. This will show up and not take any damage or anything and just be for looks. So under here you can have a golden helmet as your real armor set, but you have the appearance of a platinum crown, if that makes any sense. And I really like that feature of this mod. And you may be like, Dark, enough of the chit chat. How do I summon King Slime? Well, I got you. First things first, you're gonna have to kill yourself a few of these slimy boys, at least enough to get 20 gel. These guys drop 2 slimes usually, a slime, so you're gonna have to kill around 10 to get 20 gel. So once you get 20 gel, you're going to have to venture down into the caves and either find yourself a crimson altar or a demon altar. These guys are interchangeable in your world. You're either going to find this one if you have a crimson biome or this one if you have a corruption biome. I prefer the corruption because the Eater world is way easier to take on than the Brain of Cthulhu, and I'll be showcasing both of those bosses later on. But enough of the chit chat, let me show you how these things work. And they don't work like a normal crafting table. There is no GUI. You just right click and it starts swirling around. If you want to take it back, it's as easy as like crouch right clicking and you'll get your things back. But if you want to like craft something, you just right click that and then you get your other item, which is a crown in this case. Remember, 20 gel. And you right click that and then you sneak and punch. And it's going to play that little animation and you're going to get the King Slime crown. I ain't gonna lie, with this you can right click and summon King Slime at any time. He does not have any requirements. It doesn't need to be day, it doesn't need to be raining, you don't need to be in a certain biome. You can literally summon him wherever, underground, above ground, rain, shine, moon, night, whatever. You can summon him. But let me first go over some prep that you guys should probably do. First things first, I recommend you get a bow. I ain't gonna lie, A golden bow is probably the best bow you can get early on. And how you get a golden bow is simple. Just 3 golden ingots and some string in this order and you'll get a golden bow. It does 4.5 damage, which is really good. Then you should probably get some mobility. A cloud in the bottle and Hermes boots are fairly easy to be found. They can be found in underground houses spawning in the caves. There's these big houses that will spawn. You go in there, there's a chest, and there's a very high probability you'll find at least a Hermes boots or a cloud in the bottle. And these guys are fairly cool. The Hermes boots allow you to, after running for a while, you just speed up and you'll auto go up blocks, which is super helpful in this mod. And I recommend you get out Hermes boots as early as possible. And the cloud in the bottle allows you to double jump, which is super cool. It also leaves this little cloud like particle effect underneath you. I also recommend diamond armor for all these bosses purely because they're just so hard, and I don't recommend anyone fight them in anything less than diamond armor. And I'm pretty sure everyone knows how to make diamond armor, but if you don't, here goes the recipes real fast. Just 7 diamonds for the pants, 4 diamonds for the boots in this order, 8 diamonds for the chest plate in this order, and 5 diamonds for the helmet in this order, for anyone who don't know, and a plain crafting table. Also, I also recommend you get iron skin potions and lesser potions. Lesser potions you can find easily by talking to the merchant villager, who spawn once you have 1 gold coin. He'll spawn once you put down a bed. He'll just spawn. He'll start walking around and you just click him and you're like, yo bro, let me buy some lesser potions from you, and you'll get them. And the iron skin potions, you can either find them in the chest, the same chest you find underground where you find the Hermes boots and the cloud in the bottle, or you can break those pots that you're going to be finding all around the world, and there's a chance they might drop from that. And the Star Fury is my weapon of choice. You can find it in Sky Island chests. Basically, as you're adventuring all around the world, you have this chance to look up in the sky and see a giant cloud Sky Island. You just build your way up or get your way up there somehow, and there may be a house inside. Go inside the house, there's 2 chests, and one of those chests, there's a chance that you might find a Star Fury. Star Furies are fairly cool because whenever you attack, a shooting star falls out the sky and smacks your opponent, which I really do like. And for the arena where we're going to be fighting King Slime, I recommend an arena much like this. Small, compact, but fairly useful. The fences are here because he does spawn minions, so this will hopefully keep them out. We also have a heart lantern for regen, and we have a star in the bottle for our mana regen, just in case we want to use any magic items, which I won't be using for this boss fight because, yeah, nah. And yeah, that's everything we have, and without further ado, I'll see y'all when I'm fighting King Slime. Alright, just right click with the crown, there's King Slime, and we just go in here, we just vibe. He's gonna make his way slowly over to him. At this point, I recommend just spamming the Star Fury. He's gonna get right on top of you, but he's not gonna be able to fall on top of you because he's a big old goof, and you guys built this to perfection. Also, keep aware that he does spawn minions, so you'll probably want to get rid of those as B. I'm not gonna lie, I suggest you use the leather whip, which I'm not sure if I went over, but you can get the leather whip by the zoology villager that will once spawn after you've discovered at least 5 mobs in your bestiary. So just go around smacking random mobs and exploring the world, and you should get the zoology villager, which will sell you the leather whip. And this boss fight is much of the same. As long as you stay on top of these little baby slimes and just stay in the arena I suggested you guys to make, you should be good. It's nothing as just standing here handling the ones that spawn inside and just spamming your Star Fury or your leather whip, whichever you want to choose. It also helps if you make flame arrows, and well, I don't have any flame arrows, but yeah, I'll show you guys how to make flame arrows here in a minute. But yeah, as long as you stay in here, it should be fine. Obviously, this is gonna take forever, but you guys get the gist, and I'm gonna just handle this the only way I know how, but unbelievable power. Unbelievable power, go! Where is he? Go! And he's dead. And oh my gosh, he blows up into a bunch of little slimes. This is the developer sword, guys. Sadly, you guys can't get this in survival mode. This is only a creative mode weapon. And it sucks. I'm very sad about it. I would love to get this in survival mode. But hey, maybe in the future we can get like a super hard boss that will drop us the developer sword. But I highly doubt it because it's overpowered. But once you kill this king slime, you'll be able to see this glowing bag, and this glowing bag holds the king slime's loot. You'll just go up to it, you'll pick it up, it'll be a king slime treasure bag, and depending on what difficulty you're on, may it be, well, it goes like this: classic, expert, master, and journey. Journey is the easy difficulty. You don't really go journey. Classic is like just normal. Expert is, okay, I know what I'm doing, it's medium. And then master is, of course, hard mode. If you get it in master mode, the bosses will have 2 forms, and they'll be faster, stronger, and more health. Me personally, I always go for my first playthrough as expert, because I do not want to fight master. Master is too hard, but you will get unique loot if you do master. And with this, it's as easy as just, hold up, let me see if I can see all the drops. No, you can't see all the drops. That kind of sucks. But basically, you'll get these things. You'll get the ninja armor set, which for some reason it duplicates. But the ninja armor set basically gives you crit chance 3% on everything with each armor chance, and it looks pretty swanky. The main draw of this, you'll also get this slimifier, this solifier, or whatever this is. You can make slime furniture with this, but I don't really care about this. The main focus of killing King Slime here is 2 things. One, this gel that makes slimes friendly to you, which really doesn't matter because slimes don't attack you unless you attack slimes. But the 2 things that really matter to me are first the slimy hook, which is an amazing grappling hook, and then the slimy saddle, which is an amazing mount. Alright, let me go over how you use grappling hooks now that we have one. You just hit R or whatever keybind you have set. I have R set, and you can just slime around. You can just grapple around. The grappling hooks are fairly useful if you want to get like somewhere. Let's say you want to get across a gorge or get out of a cave. They're fairly useful. The slimy hook's especially useful because it has 3 hooks. So you can have 1 hook over there, 1 hook over here, and then 1 hook over here. So you have 3 hooks. It's one of the better hooks in the game, and if you can get it early on, it's truly a game changer. Also, let's say I want to go deeper into the cave. You can also do something like this with your grappling hooks. You can hit shift, and it will lower you into the cave. And then the second you don't hit shift, you can go back up. And the slimy hook, again, it has multiple hooks, so you can just hit R and the last hook you spawn will despawn, and you can just go anywhere. And if you want to de-hook, it's as easy as just jumping, and you'll de-hook yourself, and you'll be able to just freely move. I really do find this an important drop, and everyone should at least try to fight King Slime. If for none of this item, at least for the slimy hook. And the mount is, you hit M, and you get the mount, and the mount is a little slime boy. This little slime boy is basically a miniature King Slime. He jumps fairly high, and whenever he jumps on mobs, he does do a small bit of damage, not too much, and he's resistant to fall damage, so as long as you're on, big homie, you won't be taking any fall damages. God damn, there's a lot of chests in this cave. But yeah, that was King Slime in a nutshell. Let me go show you guys the armor set for the ninja gear, which is basically ninja gear. Hold up. Ninja gear. Let me boink, 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 boink. And this is basically how it looks, guys. So if you guys were curious what it looks like this. You're now the ultimate cool ninja. I ain't gonna lie, it's fairly good, but I'm not saying it's better than diamond armor. I would still stick with my diamond armor. This is more like a cosmetic change for me. It's not as like strong as diamond armor, but it does give a higher crit chance. So if you're into crit chances, you can get way more usability out of the ninja armor, but I will always go with my diamond armor, but I'll keep it on right now as it looks pretty kick-ass. Alright, on to the next boss, which is the Eye of Cthulhu. Alright, Eye of Cthulhu time. I ain't gonna lie, the Eye of Cthulhu is the second boss you should probably take on in the Confluence mod. It's a fairly easy boss to get the hang of it. You don't need to craft any fancy crowns or go mining for it. You really only need to kill these guys. These guys are demonized. They'll spawn at night. They'll be marked by this little arrow. You see the little arrow on my screen? Well, they'll be marked by that arrow. They come in multiple different sizes and colors. Some of them are small, some of them are green, some of them are purple, and some of them look just like this. When you kill them, they have a chance of dropping lenses. With 6 lenses, you go to a demon altar or a crimson altar, depending on what you have in your world. You right click it like so, and you crouch and you punch, and then little animation happen, and you get a suspicious little eye. The suspicious looking eye will summon the Eye of Cthulhu, but it only spawns at nighttime, so you have until the daytime comes, or until the nighttime ends, to beat the boss. If daytime comes and the boss still hasn't been beaten, or you die fighting the boss will like fly off, and you will have to like kill the eyeballs all over again and make a new suspicious eye. So these bosses aren't like, oh yeah, it's not like the King Slime where you can like fight him up until the like point you die. This one does have a time limit, so you have to beat him like before daytime comes. What I recommend is waiting until the sun's setting and then summoning him, so you have a full night to like beat him up. All right. And what I suggest in armor and in tools is I suggest diamond armor, but this time I suggest diamond armor with prot. I ain't gonna lie, he's a little bit harder, and his second phase is nothing to scoff at, so I suggest diamond armor with prot just for that extra protection so you don't get flambéed. I suggest a ruby whip, which is very easy to craft. It's better than a leather whip, so if you want to skip the leather whip and go straight to the ruby whip, you can. And the ruby whip is just ruby chains. And how you get ruby chains, you just get 3 rubies, put them like down the middle on a normal crafting table, and you get ruby chains. And then you just go back here, you go here, and then you just need 4 gold ingots or 8 gold ingots for a pop on the lower, and then this like this, and then you get the ruby chain. The ruby chain does freaking whopping 6.35 summoner damage and 50 attack speed and just marked damage. Whips are supposed to be used with summoners, but I don't really use them with summoners. I just use them as a piercing tool. But if you do want to go like full summoner class, the whip is a summoner weapon. So you can summon like a bunch of summoner like characters, but I just don't know how to get any of those. I think you find them in chest or you can craft them, but they are available, and this is a summoner weapon, but I just use it as a normal whip. Also, flame arrows are a must with this boss fight. The goal is to set them on fire and then go in with the whip. Set them on fire and then go in with the whip and just repeat until it's dead. And how you craft flame arrows is very easy. You just get a flinching table, 25 arrows in the middle, and any torch in the top, and then you get 25 flame arrows. The flame arrows will set anything you hit on fire, and then you have the healing potion and the iron skin potion. And then we have the short gold bow. This isn't like the other bow. This one is slightly better because it does 6 attack damage, but it has a lesser range, so you can't shoot as far. And this one is made in a normal crafting table with 3 gold ingots and 1 string in the middle. So with this, you can't shoot as far, but it does way more damage. Actually, I think you can still shoot pretty far. Yeah, that's still pretty far, so I suggest you just make the short bow. Alright, and you may be asking, Dark, how do I get lesser potion? You can craft them, but I don't really ever craft these guys, because these guys are kind of hard to craft. So I usually get iron crates. Iron crates, you can find them in Sky Islands, or you can go fishing for them. I usually find them in sky villages. There's a blacksmith in the sky village, and you can just go there, and he has a boatload of iron crates, and these guys just pick them up and right click on the ground and you'll get healing potions. You get also a bunch of different things. It's not only healing potions, so I suggest if you find a sky village, going up there to get a bunch of iron crates, because these guys kind of work like loot boxes. Or if you're very into fishing, you can of course fish some crates up, but these guys are very useful. You can also get these boots, which are like basically the same as the Hermes boots that I was wearing earlier, so you can of course equip that. You also get mana potion, ores, bait, and all other things. The berry block you don't get from their trust. I had that before. But yeah, without further ado, I just suggest you guys stay near the temple the thing you made for the king slime, because of the Eye of Cthulhu doesn't really have an exact battle arena per se. You kind of just fight him wherever. I would just still recommend you keep a heart lantern nearby and a mana lantern if you're using any magic item. And without further ado, let's go into fighting the Eye of Cthulhu. Alright, then just right click with the suspicious eye and the Eye of Cthulhu has been summoned in. I'm not gonna lie, fairly easy boss fight. First thing you want to do is just set him on fire like so. On like so. He's on fire now, I'm pretty sure. Yep. And then just whip out your whip and just whip him. He's fairly easy. I ain't gonna lie, the whip really does carry with this boss fight. It kills all his minions because they're fairly weak, so you're like holding him off at a good distance. Plus you got the whip. You don't really have to worry about much. You just continue strafing him. Make sure you always are moving in a circle around him and you'll be fine. Also, as long as you stay near your shrines, you should be alright. And as you can see, he's not that hard of a boss fight. When he gets into his second phase, he's slightly harder because he kind of locks in a little bit. But up until this point, you're just kind of just circling around him. You want to set him as on fire every chance you really get, because it's very... Oh no, I fell into a hole. I fell into another... Oh god, bro, why is there a hole here? Hold up. Oh no, I'm in a hole. Alright, let me escape said hole real fast. Sorry guys, kinda fell into a hole here. And let me go back to fighting him. Alright, as you can see, he's fairly easy. You just continue to whip big homie. You just continue to strafe him, whip him, strafe him, whip him. And I'll like one-shot him after I get him into his second phase. Because he does have a second phase. King Slime does not have a second phase, so that's why I was like, yeah, this boss fight's dragging on. But after you see that like eyeball get like D-high, he'll open his jaw and he'll start just bomb rushing you. He will stop spawning these minions and he'll just go full on the attack mode. And what you want to do here is just try to like keep moving and strafe him as much as possible. And when you stop hearing the scream, that means he's standing still. He also takes more damage in this form. Goddamn. He also takes more damage in this form, so you guys can like really use that to advantage, because really this form is a Hail Mary for him. He's like kind of like, I'm gonna die, so I might as well throw a fit while I'm dying, you know, do a little crybaby dance. But he's really no threat. If you have prop 4 diamond armor, this fight is a breeze. Alright, and again, what I recommend is you just keep moving until you hear that scream stop. Once he stops screaming, you just attack him. But as long as you hear that scream, I suggest you just keep running with your Hermes boots, and the second the scream stop, that means he stops running, and then you can just attack him, you know. But again, if you have prop 4 diamond armor, you don't really need to worry about him. And of course, just wait until his scream's going, and then once he's vanquished, you can of course get his treasure bag. And he doesn't drop much anything cool. He drops the Shield of Cthulhu, which is super cool. You can dash with it, which is hella cool. So you just equip it like so, and then I think it's like, yep, it's control for me, and you can do a little dash ability like so, like just womp, dash forward, and whatever's in front of you will take damage. Also, he drops raw crimson or demonite. If you're in a corruption biome, he drops demonite. If you're in a crimson world like me, he drops crimson ore. All right. It all depends on really your world. Right now we're in a crimson world. Of course, if we were in a corruption world, we would get demonite. I again prefer corruption, and this is what I was talking about before. Shooting stars will fall out of the sky, and you can just pick them up, and then you can make mana crystals or a star in the bottle. I ain't gonna lie, the Eye of Cthulhu, you can't really do much with him. Sadly, he's like the entrance boss, because with Crimson or Demonite, you can't even craft the armor. You can just get the ingot. And yeah, you can do some things with the ingot. Like, you can't really do it. Well, actually, you can't really do nothing with the ingots, because everything is locked. You can make a bow. You can make a bow, which is super cool. Or you can make a yo-yo, which is also super cool, and it's a super cool weapon. I'll show off the yo-yo and the bow here right now, since you can craft either one of those. So I'll show off the bow and the yo-yo real fast. So the yo-yo is pretty basic. There's a bunch of yo-yos in this mod. It's like a sub-tier or a subclass below. Like, we have rangers, we have melee, we have rangers, we have mages, and we have summoners. Like, freaking bows, not bows, but freaking yo-yos are like a subclass of like melee. Basically, they just yo-yo, you know? They just yo-yo. Also, boomerangs are also here, and they're pretty cool. They are awesome. I love me boomerangs, but I'm not really gonna cover me any boomerangs, because they're not well implemented into the mod yet. They're kind of just here just to be here, but they aren't well implemented. There's the wooden boomerang, the enchanted boomerang, which you can get for, of course, putting a wooden boomerang with 1 star. The Shroom Knight boomerang, which I'm pretty sure you combine a ice boomerang, a enchanted boomerang, and a oh wait, hold up. No, you can craft the Shroomite Boomerang. I guess you just find it somewhere in the world. And then we got the Tri-Boomerang, which is the best boomerang. And then we have the Flare-Rang. And then the Developer Boomerang, which of course you can get. But I think you can get this one, which you can get by just combining a Enchanted Boomerang with a bunch of Hellstone ingots, which is super cool. And I'm guessing this one sets enemies ablaze. Yep, it sets enemies ablaze. And of course, the yo-yo, you just attack and it flings out a yo-yo. The yo-yo does auto-lock to enemies, so if you just look at something, it will auto-lock. I'm not going to kill that that duck, because one of my homies a duck, and that's kind of wrong. But if you just look at an enemy, it does. And it does attack groups. As you can see, I did multiple damage to that horse. That horde of horses, so that's really cool. And yeah, you can craft that boomerang, and you can craft this bow, which the bow will do blood damage, which I'm guessing is like poison. And this one will, ooh, I ain't gonna lie, you guys are lucky. Hold up. Summon light beam. So I'm guessing this is the demon bow, which is the like inverse to the corruption bow, you know? Because if you're in a what you call it? If you're in a hold up, I'm trying to find the yo-yos again. I ain't gonna lie, I really wish they simplified the GUI a little bit, a tad bit, because these yo-yos are a little bit confusing to find. Where the hell were the yo-yos? Huh. Well, wherever the yo-yos are found, you can... This is cool. This is cool. So I'm guessing whenever you smack an enemy, let me get a slimy boy, it will summon a beam of light at full boing. So that's super cool. That's super cool. I ain't gonna lie. Between the two of them, I feel like the demon bow is winning for me. But of course, you got this. And you got the demon bow. Again, if you're in a corruption biome, or yeah, if you're in a corruption biome, you will get demonite instead of crimson ore from the Eye of Cthulhu. But again, it really does depend on your biome and your world. But like always, guys, let's move on to the next boss, which is gonna probably be the Eater of Worlds. I'll see you guys all in a corruption world. All right. Also, guys, a quick tangent and a quick tip for you guys. If you guys create a new world and you go over here to world, you can pick actually what evil biome you have. You can go here to world type and just pick between corruption or crimson. I suggest for newer players you go corruption because crimson's a lot harder and it doesn't have as good loot as the corruption, in my opinion. Also, there is an option in seeds for a bunch of secret seeds, which are super cool. You guys feel free to read the description, but they are a bunch of secret seeds which are super cool, and I'm glad they added it because it's one of my favorite features in Terraria. But like always, guys, you just go here till you create a new world. You go here and you just go to either crimson or corruption. We're gonna make a corruption world because of course we're gonna show you guys how to summon the Eater of Worlds. Alright, guys, we are here in a corruption world. This is how the corruption looks, by the way. It's this purple biome with these purple trees and big deep ravines where you can find these orbs. These orbs are going to be important here in a second to summon the boss. But first, let me go over how you can summon him through an item, because that's more organic summons. So let me show you how you can summon it through an item, which is the worm food. How do you get the worm food? That's fairly easy, alright? First things first, I'll show you how to get the worm food and everything you need for it. Alright, let me just bang. Alright. First things first, you need to get Vile Powder. You may be asking, Dark, how do I get Vile Powder? Well, that's easy. You just find these mushrooms in these biomes. You find these little mushrooms anywhere in these biomes. You snag them up, you pick them up, and you take them to a crafting table. And then you just put them in the crafting table and you get Vile Powder. And then you're gonna need 13 Vile Powder. You get 5 Vile Powder from 1 mushroom. So really, you think I think you need like about, let me see if my math is right because it's been a while. 6 mushrooms for 30 Vile Powder. Please tell me in the comments if I'm right about that. But if each one gives you 5, I say 6. So 6 mushrooms for 30 Vile Powder. And then you're gonna need rotten chunks. But you may be asking, Dark, how do I get rotten chunks? What the heck? Like, I ain't never heard of rotten chunks a day in my life. Well, that's easy. I will show you how you get rotten chunks right now. You have to kill these wormy guys. These wormy guys absolutely spawn everywhere in this biome. They spawn literally everywhere, non-stop. Everywhere you go in this biome, you'll like find these guys. These guys are annoying. They won't leave you alone. They'll fly at you. They'll attack you. And they're the main mob you will find in this biome. You also find these skeletons, but the skeletons don't really bother you none. It's mainly just these guys. And let me show you with the power of the developer sword. There you go. And he doesn't always drop. It's not 100% drop chance. So you just keep killing these guys and eventually they will drop the, rotten chunks. But it may take a few, but lucky for you, there's a ton of them in this biome. So you just keep murdering these guys, and well, believe me, they do drop it. It just looks like I have. Oh, there he goes. There one goes. Yeah, there it is. The rotten chunk. So there, it is fairly rare, or I'm fairly unlucky. But once you get the rotten chunks, you can easily just get 15 rotten chunks and 30 Vile Powder. Go up to Demon Altar like so, and then you know the move. You just punch it, and it doesn't break because you aren't going to be in creative mode, but it broke for me because I'm in the creative mode. And then you get Worm Food. Worm Food, right click, and you will summon the Eater of Worlds. But do keep in mind, it has to be in a corruption biome. It has to be in a corruption biome. it has to be in one of these purple biomes, because if it's not in one of these purple biomes, he won't spawn. Alright? And for the weapons we're going to use for this one, we're going to use the Ruby Whip, this Vial, this magic weapon, which does this cool thing, Iron Potion, and then we're going to need a Golden Hammer. You may be like, Dark, how do I craft a hammer? Well, it's easy. It's literally just 2 sticks and 5 gold in a helmet shape, and then you can get the Golden Hammer. The Golden Hammer is useful here purely for one reason, and of course we're gonna be keeping the what you call it? Hold up, let me switch to survival mode. We're gonna be keeping the prot armor. Alright, let me switch back to creative mode because these guys are gonna swarm me. Like I said, these guys are everywhere here, and you may be like, okay, that's one of the ways to summon him, Dark. What is the other way? Well, I'm glad you asked. You go down here and you see these little crystals down here. You go at it with a hammer. You break these things with a hammer, and it will first send 3 messages. You have to break 3 of them for this big guy to spawn. First one, a horrible chill go down your spines, and each one of these will drop weapons. This is how you get this one, which is a must get for this boss in my opinion, because you summon these little piercing projectiles that do piercing damage, and he's a bunch of segments. So this will literally beat him so easy. Alright, and you also get a gun here. You get the musket, which is the first gun, and after you get this gun you can summon the arms dealer. He's an NPC that will spawn, and then you break another one. You get this. This is fairly common, so don't worry about not getting this this Vile Thorn. The Vile Thorn is fairly common, and like it's almost every time. And also by breaking these on the second one or the third one, a meteor will spawn in your world in the next 3 days after breaking these. So you can also expect to get some meteorite ore, which you can make lightsabers and other things with them. As you can see, you can make lightsabers. Whoa, hold up. You can make lightsabers, and you can also make a bunch of more things with it, like armor, which is super cool, which is good for all the magic users. You can make a magical gun, which is the space gun, and you can make a bunch of lightsabers. And again, armor, lightsaber, tools, and all of the such. And you can even make a star cannon, which fuel is stars. You shoot stars, so that's also, and meteorite bullets, which do knock back like 50% of knockback. But again, at this third one, you'll summon him in, he'll spawn, and then the earth will start shaking because he's just so massive. You see it? It's like a little shaking effect. And then you'll be in for the fight of your life. But of course, I'm in creative mode, so he's just gonna despawn. So he's not really like gonna spawn in. And I'm gonna summon him by the worm food in this biome over here, because it's way bigger, and I just like it a whole lot more than I like that biome, because this biome is a smaller biome. But this biome is the ideal biome for this boss fight. So this is my armor. This is what I'm rocking. This is what I'm rocking, guys. Prot 4 diamond armor, and of course we got all the things. Also, we got the slimy hook, because it's good to like have fast mobility and be able to get out of sticky situations with this guy. And then we have the iron skin potions, the healing potions, the whip, and the Vile Thorn. The Vile Thorn really is gonna carry through this boss fight. And yeah, without further ado, let's go fight ourselves the Eater World. Okay, without further ado, right click in any corruption biome, and then bing bada boom, here comes the Eater World. I ain't gonna lie, this is one of the coolest looking bosses. As you can see, he's a giant snake, and he's heading straight for me. And he's massive. Do not be caught into this, bro. He's so cool. I sadly didn't get to fight him in my let's play because we got a corruption biome, but he is a definitely cool boss. He has this cool like acid spitting attack, but again, if you have prot 4 diamond armor, you should be good. You can also whip him, which is also really good. He also, I think he does hunger. Yeah, he's hitting me up with hunger, which is crazy. They have updated him. The last time I fought him, he wasn't this cool looking, and he does break into bits. So, like, you just just power through it. I ain't gonna lie, he's not that hard as long as you just avoid and just try not to get it's like basically, if anyone remembers Slither Dotto, it's just Slither Dotto in Minecraft. Also avoid his poison things. Alright? And I think his head is his weak spot. So if you guys can hit the head, then that's fairly good. Let me see if I can hit him with the Vile Thorn a few times. Yep, the Vile Thorn is out here doing work. And you're just supposed to get at him. I ain't gonna lie, one of the cooler looking bosses, because this is absolutely sick to look at. How he's just flying through the air and he just looks all cool and stuff. I don't think he has a second form. I think this is it. I think he just breaks into some pieces and that's his like big gimmick, which is super cool. But as you can see, I'm making short work of him, like with my sword, with my whip and stuff. So much short work, I think I may just finish this off with the developer sword so we can get this done and over and done with. But of course you have to kill every last bit of him. And I think that's it. And we need to find the... Oh wait, hold up. There's one little small bit. And that's it. And a good thing about the Eater Worlds and about all bosses, especially with the Eater Worlds, is he'll drop these things. So even if you don't beat him, you'll still get the Shadow Scales and the Demonite. So you can still make the armor because each segment will drop it. And also, if let's say you kill him and he's underground or the goodie, you can't find the goodie bag. Lucky for you guys, the goodie bag gives this like outline, this like glowing outline. And you can just see it and you can just grab it and snag it. And then bang, the Eater World goodie bag. With the Eater World goodie bag, you get the Worm Scarf, which reduces damage taken by 17%, which is amazing. And I cannot stress how much better this is than the Crimson. The Crimson is absolutely a bad evil biome in my opinion and just not worth anyone's time. But I'm still gonna cover it because I said I was gonna cover it. Plus, the worm scarf looks super cool on your character. It's a little worm guy, which is super cool, super dope. And I might as well go over the armor that you can now craft with this, because you have beaten and you have vanquished the Eater Worlds. So, of course, you gain access to the Corruption Armor, or the Demonite Armor, which is the Shadow Helmet, the Shadow Chestplate, the Shadow Leggings, and the Shadow Boots, which are super cool in my opinion, super cool. This is what they look like in-game, and they give you speed, and they also give you critical chance damage, which is super cool. I ain't gonna lie, this guy looks cool. I'm looking dripped out. I ain't gonna lie, it is one of the better looking armor. Don't get me wrong, the Crimson armor looks cool, but I will always be a sucker for the Corruption. And this is how you craft said armor. Before I forget, you just do it like this, simple as pie. Just 4 Demonite ingots and then 5 Shadow Scales in a helmet formation like this, and you can craft the Shadow Helm. And then for the chestplate, you can then go here and then craft the Shadow Chestplate, which is super cool looking. It's just 4 again in this formation and then 5 Shadow Scales on either side. Then we got the boots, which of course the boots is gonna be fairly easy. 6 Demonite ingots and then 5 Shadow Scales, so 10 in total Shadow Scales and 3 Demonite ingots. You should be more than good, and you should only need to kill the Destroyer 1 time to get all of this, so you shouldn't have to worry that bad about it. And then 10 Demonite, 10 Shadow Scales, and then about, 3, 6, 9, 12, 15. So 15 Demonite ingots to make the pants, and then this all increases your movement speed, by the way. If I didn't say it before, it increases your movement speed and your agility, which is super amazing. I ain't gonna lie, one of the best armor sets in this mod. And on to the Brain of Cthulhu. Alright guys, here we are. We find ourselves in the stinky Crimson. I'm gonna be so real with you guys. I do not like this biome. I do not like this evil biome. It's so bad because it's like, don't get me wrong, it gives you way more things than the corruption, but none of them are really good. For first of all, it's red. I love the red colors. But the like first bad thing is we have these flying mobs, which is nothing new. We have flying mobs in the in the corruption, all right? But not only do we have these flying mobs, no. We have these super fast, high jumping zombies that would chase you. We have these creepers that will blow up into some things, into some like egg sacs, and then the egg sacs will hatch into these like nightmarish spiders. And like it's just a bunch of bad things, and like there's nothing really wow about the corruption or about the crimson. There's literally nothing wow about it. So let's get this done as fast as humanly possible, and let's get straight into how to craft the bloody spine to summon the brain of Cthulhu. All right, what you're gonna need is the same as the corruption. You gotta find these vile mushrooms to turn into some powder. Like I said last time, with 6 mushrooms should suffice to get 30 powder, and then you're gonna have to get some vertebrae. How do you get vertebrae, you may be asking, Dark? Well, that's as easy as pie, because we have a bunch of things that drop vertebrae all around us. Yes, you heard me right. Everything drops a vertebrae in this biome, but it's extremely, like, not rare, but it's like not common by any form of the imagination. And they also drop these bloody clods, like bloody clod powder, which is like I think you can summon deer clops with it, but we'll come back to that. But yeah, you just kill all of these guys. I ain't gonna lie, the ones I've seen drop it the most common are the zombies and these shrimpy guys all over the place. But I just say, and the spiders just drop one too. And you need to collect 15 of these vertebrae, and then you just plop them all in the thing like so. Let me first, real quick, before I even do anything, alright? Let me first freeze time. Give me a second. There you go. Let me first freeze time, because I will get my butt jumped. 100% I'm gonna get my butt jumped. But let's hop into survival, and let me show you. Just go here like you always do. You crouch, or you don't crouch, you hit, and then bang, you hit. Bloody vertebrae comes out, the animation plays, and then we hop back into creative because they will jump the hell out of us if we're in survival. This biome is way harder than the corruption, and you are more likely to die in this biome to the mobs than the actual boss. And don't think the Brain of Cthulhu is weak either. The Brain of Cthulhu is way harder than the Destroyer, by like 1,000 times way harder than the Destroyer, and I will show you that here in a second. We get the bloody spine. How we're gonna be fighting the Brain of Cthulhu is very easy. Same gear as the last one. We can't use the shadow armor because of course this, okay, we can't use the shadow armor because you can't have the corruption and crimson in the same world. You can either get crimson or corruption. You can't have both. Alright, so you don't get the worm in this. If you have a crimson world, you don't get to fight the worm. You get to fight the Brain of Cthulhu. And I honestly think you guys should always aim to get corruption because crimson's just not worth it, guys. I would tell you this right now. It's just not worth it. These guys are a pain in the ass. This bomb's a pain in the ass. Alright, you have to go down here to this big orby room, and you have to find, much like the other biome, these heart things. Well, this is if you don't want to craft the bloody spine. You don't have to craft this to summon him. You can just break these heart things, and you can get, like, items. Like the last one, echo screams echo all around you. And basically, same rules as before. If you break 3 of them, the Brain of Cthulhu will spawn to fight you. Or you can just use the spine. I'm gonna just use the spine. Oh, wait. Yeah, actually I already broke one previous. But the Brain of Cthulhu just spawned. He is an absolute powerhouse, and I'll explain how to fight him right here in a second. See y'all when we're ready to fight him. Okay guys, I did give myself some golden apples and some chickens because this boss fight is hard, and I recommend you guys like gear up before this boss fight. Of course, I'm still going to be rocking Prot 4 diamond armor because that's kind of the best armor we can get right now. And yeah, enough of the chit chat. Let's summon him in. And here's how the boss fight goes with the Brain of Cthulhu, because he's kind of unique because he doesn't attack you outright himself. He will send these little eye things at you first, and the eye things have a chance of blinding you. Alright? So you'll be blinded by the eye things, which kind of do suck. It does suck quite a bit, which isn't fun. But as long as you got the whip, you just can like attack the eye things, get them slowly out of here. But once all the eye things are gone and they're all dead, and don't worry, even if you don't beat him, which I didn't do it the first time in my Let's Play, I'm not gonna lie to y'all. I had to like fight him a second time once I made like full armor. Like, his eye things do drop simple tissues, which is, like, one of the things you need for the armor set. So you can craft the armor set without beating him. You just need to kill enough of his eye things to get the armor set. But he is a hard boss, guys. I ain't gonna hold you. He's definitely a hard boss. Between him and the Eater of Worlds, he's definitely harder because you're gonna see here in a second. Once that last eye dies, he opens up his third eye, and he goes invisible, and he summons clones, and you gotta basically use the arrow to tell where he's at, because you don't know which one is real. I think this one, the one that is like more like that's not like tangible, more tangible, is the real one. But again, he does go invisible a lot, so you are gonna have to just eyeball it most of the times, and he just comes at you fast. It's really a pain in the butt boss fight for not that good loot. I'm not gonna lie. He doesn't drop anything of note, and his item kind of blows chunks. I ain't gonna lie. He has no, he has no worm scarf. I'll tell you that much. But yeah, as long as you keep whipping him with the whip, he should die. I ain't gonna lie, this is taking way too long. So I'm just gonna whip this baby out, find him, and he's dead. Because that was taking way too long. You guys saw, just keep whipping him and you should be fine. I ain't gonna lie, as long as you got Prot 4 diamond armor, you should be okay with most of these bosses. And then once he's dead, you just open that up, and for him you get the Brain of Confusion, which sounds good on paper but really doesn't translate as good as the Worm Scarf, which has a chance to create an illusion and dodge attacks, temporarily increases crit chance by 4% after dodging, and may confuse nearby enemies after being stricken. This is really not as good as you think. The Worm Scarf is way more useful because it does it always. This has a very rare chance of doing this. I have this in my survival world, and I think it only worked once, and that was when I was being jumped in the jungle. So this is really not worth your time. I really highly do recommend you just make a corruption biome. And this is the armor set you get from this biome, which is super cool in my opinion, and I really do enjoy it. It looks cool, and it does look cooler than the shadow set, but still, and it does way more things. I ain't gonna lie. This armor set does way more things. I may actually take it back, because this one does plus 3% attack damage, range damage, magic damage, summon damage, 3 armor, and 2 armor toughness. So this armor is definitely a stronger variation from the Demonite armor, but still I way prefer the corruption because it just gives you better stuff in my opinion. But this is how the armor looks on you, and yeah, I'm not gonna lie, all in all, that was the Brain of Cthulhu. Now let's get out of this nasty biome and on to Skeletron. Alright guys, so you want to fight Skeletron, huh? Well, to find Skeletron, you need to first find the dungeon. And you may be asking, Dark, how in this whole big world can I find one structure such as the dungeon? Because there's only one per world. Well, I'm happy you're asking, because it's as easy as making first step first, we gotta make a meteor compass, which is 4 bars. 4 crimson or demonite bars. Right now we're in the crimson world, so we're using crimson bars that you get from killing the Eye of Cthulhu or the Brain of Cthulhu. You put in with 4 stars, and then you crouch, and then you get the meteor compass. Base form, this will point near the nearest meteor in your world. If a meteor has dropped in your world, the compass will point towards it. The meteor hasn't dropped in my world yet, so it's kind of going crazy. But we can convert this into a demon compass. How, you may ask? You see these little structures that's been spawning around your world. I'm pretty sure everyone has seen it. If you guys made it to the Brain of Cthulhu or the Eater of Worlds, I'm pretty sure you've seen some of these structures. Well, it's as easy as going up and seeing the waystone underneath and just clicking it. You should see this little animation, and then you get a dungeon compass. Then you put it on your head slot like so, and wherever the skull wherever the skull's looking at is the direction where the dungeon's at. So as long as you keep that skull facing where you're going towards the dungeon. This dungeon could be millions of billions blocks away, so prepare yourself for a walk. So yeah, well, I'll see you guys all in the dungeon so we can fight Skeletron. Okay guys, we have arrived at the dungeon. As soon as you arrive, Skeletron is probably the easiest boss to summon. Oh look, a sky village. You can find those. Those are where you find the metal crates I were talking about. They're like in little blacksmith buildings. But as soon as you find the dungeon, you're gonna see this old man. And what you're gonna want to do is talk to the old man, and he is gonna say, I cannot let you enter until you free me of my curse, alright? And then if you keep talking to him, he's gonna talk about his master, and you're gonna have to wait until it's nighttime, because this is another boss like the Eye of Cthulhu that can only be fought in during nighttime. But before nighttime has arrived, let's show you guys what gear you should probably have to this point before you fight Skeletron, alright? The armor I suggest is the Crimson armor or the Demonite armor, depending on what biome you're in and what world you're in. You may use Demonite or you may use Crimson. I'm using Crimson because I'm still in the Crimson world. And again, I suggest you guys just prot 4 the hell out of the armor. Better safe than sorry. Iron Skin potions, you already know how to get that. You already know how to get this. Swiftness potions can be easily found in pots or in the metal crates that I was talking about up there in the Sky Village. But you'll probably just find them from breaking pots around your world or just scattered around in chests. They're very easy to find, trust. Alright, then we have the Mega Shark. The Mega Shark is very important for this boss fight, and you may be like, Dark, how do I get the Mega Shark? You get him from the gun NPC. When you get your first gun, may that be any gun in the game, you will get the opportunity to then have a gun NPC move in to your house, and he sells the mini shark for, I think, 15 gold. Alright? 15 to 35 gold, I think around that range. The mini shark shoots incredibly fast, and it's a must-have after this point, because a lot of these enemies are gonna need it. And then another thing I recommend is the rocket boots. Alright, the rocket boots are a must-have at this point because you guys gonna have to have crazy mobility. And you may be like, Dark, how do I get the rocket boots? First, you have to take on the Goblin Army. The Goblin Army can either spawn randomly throughout your world, or you can craft a summoning item to summon the Goblin Army. I'll be showing off the Goblin Army near the end of the video, so you guys can see what I'm talking about. But after you kill the Goblin Army, you'll have the Goblin Tinker can spawn, and he'll spawn in your world, and he'll sell you the rocket boots. The rocket boots are very handy. They give you the ability to fly for a short period of time. You can combine them with the Hermes boots in the Tinker's workshop to make a super overpowered boots. But right now we're just using the rocket boots because the rocket boots are enough for me. Trust. Alright. And with all of that, I think we are ready to fight Skeletron. We just have to wait until nighttime falls across the land. So I'll see you guys all when the sun sets. Alright guys, the nighttime has set, and I think I might as well just show you how to craft the Goblin Army Summoner, which is the Goblin Battle Starter, which is as easy as just getting some tattered cloth, which will drop from these goblin scouts you'll find on beaches and mountain biomes. You'll find these little goblin scouts on beaches and mountain biomes, and you'll kill them and they'll drop some tattered cloth, and then you just get 6 of any wood type, put them in the bottom, and then that will summon the goblin army. Alright, it's the goblin battered starter. Alright. So you just type that, the Goblin Army will be summoned, you beat it, and then you can get the Goblin Tinker. And the Goblin Tinker is a huge advancement. I suggest you get it as early as possible because you can get the rocket boots. And not only can you get the rocket boots, but you can get the freaking Tinker's Workshop. And the Tinker Workshop is extremely useful because with the Tinker's Workshop, you can begin to combine different items. So I just combined the Hermes boots and the rocket boots to now have the Hermes and rocket boots in one item. So this now allows me to run fast and take to the skies. I'm not gonna lie, I think this is a good combination, but enough of the chit chat. Let's get to fighting the Skeletron. You just walk up to the old man. You're like, stranger, do you possess the strength to defeat my master? And you hit the summon, and then Skeletron is now spawned. I kind of used that on accident, but what your main goal with Skeletron is to not attack the face itself. As you can see, I'm doing very little damage to the face. So what you need to do is attack the arm first. Goddamn. 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 Hold up. Drink. You guys should probably do this in an open space. I kind of was pressed for time, so I kind of like didn't clear out any of the area around me. But you guys should probably clear out some of the area. Avoid his head like that. Your goal is to destroy both arms. I'm not gonna lie, I'm gonna kind of cheat and just get rid of the other. Oh god. Well, okay guys, the goal is to defeat the arm. You defeat the arms, the 2 arms, and then he's ahead. Be careful when he's ahead because then he'll proceed to launch skulls at you. And what I say is run around him until you hear him stop, when you hear him scream. When he starts screaming, he's doing a roll attack towards you. And that's when you go and you just shoot him with the mini shark, alright? And just lay into him. The mini shark does take bullets. I'm not sure if I went over him. And you can buy bullets from the gunsmith NPC, alright? But enough of the talking. Let's see what the freaking Skeletron goodie bag gives us. It gives us alright items. I'm not gonna lie. We got the bone glove, which now every time we swing, we will shoot a little shuriken, a little bone shuriken at any enemies, which is super cool. You don't need to be holding anything. Oh wait, no, you do need to be holding something. You'll shoot a bone shuriken every time you attack with a weapon. This is the grappling hook of Skeletron, which is the skeleton hands. It's not as good as the slime grappling hook. I'm not gonna hold you, because instead of 3, it's only 2. So I still highly recommend the slime grappling hook because it just doesn't have the 3. It only has 2. But I ain't gonna lie, it does have a cool texture of like these 2 skeleton hands, so that if you're into that, that's there. And then you get the Book of Skulls, and now you can launch the same skulls Skeletron launches at you when he hits his 2nd phase and he's just ahead. These skulls are pretty cool. They deal 18 damage, they cost 18 mana, and they're pretty fast, and they have a cooldown of 2 seconds. I ain't gonna lie, this is super cool. After you kill Skeletron, you'll get access to the dungeon. I'm not gonna really show the dungeon off in depth because it's nothing like relating to any of the bosses. You don't need anything from the dungeon to summon any of the other bosses, but I'll show it off real quick. You just go down here, you go down this hole, and then you enter to this place. This dungeon has a bunch of loot in it, super good loot. And if you want to find the really good loot, I'll give you guys a tip. You gotta look for these things, because I was struggling to find the golden chest. Because if you kill slimes in the dungeon, like dungeon slimes, you'll get golden keys. And I was like, where the hell do I use said golden keys? Like, I don't know, like, I got these golden keys. And what you want to look for are doors like this. You see these like doors, how it's like a open door? You go in here, and then you proceed to go up here, and then you can find these golden luck chests. And if you have a golden key that the dungeon slimes drop, you can access the golden chest. And inside of them, they have many of good items, and I highly recommend you come down here to the dungeon. They do have some things that aren't fully developed yet, that aren't out in this update, but that are gonna be out in future updates. If you go to the very bottom of the dungeon, you can see these rooms, and these rooms are all themes to different biomes, but they don't really have any point but decoration right now, and you can't really access them. But I just want to show them off because I think they look cool. The desert. This is like a mechanic workshop. And this is the Crimson / Corruption, because depending on your world. And we got the snow biome, and then we got the ocean biome, and we're back to where we're started. My favorite biome has to be the hollowed biome. It looks very cool. It's like a church with crystals busting out of it, and it's just all in all super cool. And without further ado, I'll see you guys all over at the Deer Clops. Alright guys, we are here in a snow biome, the natural habitat of the deer clops. I ain't gonna lie, but you may be asking, Dark, how do I summon a deer clops? Well, I'm happy you asked. First, you're gonna need the deer thingy. The deer thingy is very easy to craft. It takes 3 fur and any of these items. Of course, we're in a corruption biome or a crimson world, so we're gonna be using the vertebrae, but if you're in a corruption biome, you can either use the worm teeth, which you can get from giant worms that spawn in the corruption biome, or you can get rotten bones from some skeletons, rotten looking like purple skeletons that also spawn in the corruption biome at night. And you just get 3 fur. And you may be asking, Dark, how do I get the fur? Well, you get it from these guys. These guys spawn in caves in the snow biome. So you just go to a snow cave and you find one of these guys. These guys aren't really hard to beat. They're like more little guys. They come, they hit you, and they run away. But when you kill one, like so, they'll drop their fur. They drop a good amount of fur. And then you just walk up here and you do the same thing we always do. Just blop, blop, and then blop, and hold up. Blop, blop, and then punch, and then you get the deer thingy. The deer thingy will summon deer clops. You have to be in a snow biome to summon deer clops. It can be either night or day. And you saw that little biome down there? Hold up. This is where they will spawn. They will spawn in these little cave biomes like this. Maybe a little bit deeper down though. Not so close to the surface, but they will spawn in like cave biomes like this. So if you want to find those little furry guys, just head down there. And there is no requirements to like spawning deer clops. It doesn't need to be day, it doesn't need to be night. As long as you're in a snow biome, he will spawn. You cannot summon him outside a snow biome. He has to be in a snow biome. And without further ado, I'm gonna summon deer clops here in a second. Okay guys, here's another thing about deer clops. I highly recommend you like spawn him in a lake or on a mountain with no caves, because deer clops has this very annoying habit of spawning in caves. So make sure you don't have any caves around, and I guess he also doesn't want to spawn on ice rivers either. Damn, deer clops, you are one picky deer, but hey, it's alright. So you just go to a solid ground where you're pretty sure there's no caves, and there he is. Big man Deerclops himself. You see the purple thing around him, that means he's not taking any damage. Deerclops is one of those enemies you have to get up close and personal with. And once that purple thing goes away, he'll be able to take damage. He is a beefy boss. Do not underestimate Deerclops at all. And this is why it's very important to have the mini shark up until this point, because that's going to be the main way you're going to deal damage to Deerclops. Alright? Make sure you don't get too close, because then he'll do that icicle attack, and that will 100% screw you up. Because he'll slow you, and he'll stun you for a large bit. Now he's moonwalking away. Who knows why Deerclops does what he does. But of course, if he's purple, I can't really attack him. And goddamn, he does a lot of damage. And your goal is just to get up close and personal and really just end him. I ain't gonna lie, in my survival world, I got him stuck on a mountain and I easily killed him that way. So that's what I suggest you guys do, just get him stuck on a mountain, because if not, he may one-shot you out of nowhere. Because that is something Deerclops does randomly in this mod for some reason. You will be at full health, and then out of nowhere, Deerclops will just be like, you know what, ya yeet somehow, and you'll be at 0, and you'll die. He does a buttload of health, and like I'm horrified of him. I'm not gonna hold you. He's a scary dude. Very scary dude. So keep your distance. Keep doing your mini shark. Keep running around as much as you can. And yeah. If you need, you can back off. He doesn't regen health. If you need, you can back off for a little bit. Come back to the fight. Get close and personal. And then just do that, because he does deal a boatload of damage. And if you feel like you're about to get one-shotted or die, trust me, you rather just walk away and let him just vibe there for a little bit than take the risk of you dying. Because if you died, he's 100% despawning. But yeah, as long as you keep your distance and just keep filleting him with the mini shark, and he doesn't get too close to you to do his like big attack, then you should be fine. I'm gonna see if he has a second form. If not, I'm just gonna smack him with the developer sword, but I don't think he has a second form. But we're about to find out real fast, because he's about to enter. He does like backing up a fair bit. And no, I don't think he has a second form, so I'm just gonna go ahead and hold up. Does he? I'm waiting. Waiting, Deerclops. Bro has a buttload of health, though. Nope, he does not have a second form, so boink. Hit him with the freaking developer sword. As I say, just have the mini shark and keep your distance from homie, and you should be fine. And this is all that Deerclops drops, which he drops a bunch of cool items. One is an axe that talks. This sucks, which is super cool. Another one is Chester, and this one, which is a radio. This radio gives you this cool, like, filter. Super cool filter. Honestly, some of the coolest filter. And there's one more item he drops, so let me go snag that up real fast. Which is... boink. Where is it? Nope, I still didn't get it. What the heck? I got it in the last one. In my playthrough, but let me just open a good bit of these. Bro, how rare is this item? Alright, there you go. Alright. And he also drops this. So you get this one that puts a filter on the world, which is super cool. Super cinematic if you're trying to do cinematic. You have this one that summons tornadoes. This one will lock onto things. It will summon tornadoes for a small bit. This isn't a summoner weapon, so the tornadoes are more projectile. So that's a thing. And then you have the axe that will talk to you, which is super cool. This cuts wood crazy fast. Plus it does 11 attack damage. And it will talk to you every time you cut down a tree. It would be like, hey, this is awesome. I love you. This is great. And then we have the best item. The one, the only, the amazing Chester. Chester is the best item a boss can drop, because Chester is a walking piggy bank. And what a walking piggy bank is you can put these guys in here. You can put this anywhere. Like, you can just put all your stuff in here, alright? And let's say you go 1,000 blocks away. 1,000 blocks away from anything. You can just summon Chester, and he'll still have your stuff inside of him. So he's like an extra backpack. And of course, if you want him to like disappear, you can right click him again with the Chester staff and he'll disappear. You can also put him in your pet slot. So you can go whoop, and then he's in your pet slot. I think you can also... Nope. There's no key button for pets. So if you want him gone, you just have to go here, and then just make him disappear that way. But I ain't gonna lie, this is awesome. I love Chester. And now we're on to the last two, which is Queen Bee. So I'll see you guys all in the jungle. Okay, we have reached the second to final boss, the Queen Bee. And you may be like, Dark, how do I find the Queen Bee and how do I fight it? Well, you have to go to a jungle biome, any jungle biome, and you have to look for a hive. I'm not gonna lie, hives are fairly hard to find, and I haven't found a way to like find hive easily. I don't think there's a compass or anything. You just have to come across it in the underground jungle. So what I would do is just go into an underground jungle and look for this. This is a hive. Alright? You can easily just break into one of these. Hold up. Break into one of these like so. Just boink, boink, boink. And then once you're in, this middle thing right here is how you summon Queen Bee. You just gotta smack this baby open and Queen Bee will 100% be summoned. With the thing, I'm still rocking the same armor. I don't think I really need to change the armor. And there's not really much explaining to do. Here, you kind of just find one of these. You go in here, you smack that, and you smack the little guy in the middle. And now Queen Bee has been summoned. I'm not gonna lie, I'm gonna destroy all the honey. And the whip is probably gonna be your best friend with this one, because she does summon a bunch of like little minion bees. And I ain't gonna hold you. Definitely a harder boss. Definitely a harder boss. And also they have honey on the ground, so you have to definitely recommend the rocket boots here. But just keep whipping them, and you should be fine. Make sure to stay on top of your health. Drink some iron skin potions, like so, and just keep whipping her. Alright, just keep whipping her. She's gonna keep doing her little dashes dash. This may take a while. I ain't gonna hold you. Just keep whipping her, hitting her with the guns. She's not really a hard boss, as long as you just keep like your health in mind and just dodge some of her charges. I am not, because I'm kind of just tanking it. I ain't gonna lie, the mini shark may be the only thing you really need for this boss here, because the mini shark is kind of tanking a lot of it. Also, watch out for these little bees. This is where the whip comes in handy, because you can just whip everything. And then you should just easily get the Queen Bee out of here. I'm not gonna lie, oh no. Guys, be careful. There are honey blocks and you can get stuck in the thin honey blocks. And that will be like your demise. But lucky for us, the honey blocks, also the honey liquid heals us a fair bit. So that's good. I'm just waiting for... What's up, homie? Where's the bee? There you are. And we're just gonna keep laying waste to you, lady. Almost done. Where the hell are you? Whoa. Where you at, lady? Here she comes. And you just keep doing this over and over until she's dead. It's truly easy, guys. I ain't gonna lie. This boss, if you have the mini shark, once it's at half health, she starts shooting like crazy at you. But again, she also is weaker, so you can deal more damage to her. Since she's faster, you can deal more damage. And just keep shooting at her with the mini shark, and she should be dead in a flash. If she can stop dodging. Just do. We out here having a gun war, huh? Out here having a gun war? I won. I won, Queen Bee. I won. Ooh, that's cool. Alright, let's see what Queen Bee drops. Queen Bee drops a bunch of things. All right, first this. Ooh. Release bees and dose honeys while damaged. Oh, that's cool. So every time you're damaged, you release bees and honey. That's cool. Honey bottle. You can heal with honey bottles. They're fairly good. Well, you heal one heart. And you also get hunger. And then you got the bee pack. Increase the strength of friendly bees. And this is awesome. You get the bee sword, summons bees. Ooh, a lot of bee stuff. Bee grenades. A lot of bee stuff with the queen bee. And hive one, which I do not know what to do. Leave in the comments if you know what that is. But I ain't gonna lie, the bee pack definitely looks cool. And does it have a custom texture? No, you cannot see the bee pack. But this one does summon bees, I think, if you hit a enemy, and I'm pretty sure the bee grenades blow up into bees. I think that's a bee. You're a bee? Ow. You're definitely a bee. What's up, bee? Alright, that bee attacked me. And let's see if there's any other items we can get from the queen bee's bag before we head over to the final boss, which is the wall of flesh. Alright, now it's looking like Lucky Honeycomb. We already got that. Ooh, okay. Never mind. I'm seeing a bee gun, which is fairly new. And I think the bee gun is it. Or I could be wrong. Let me keep, rolling the dice. Also, with this honeycomb, you can make bee armor. With the royal wax, I'm pretty sure you can make bee armor. You can also make an NPC invitation. Nice. But yeah, you can make bee armor, which is a summoner armor set. And you can also make the bee grenade. You can also make the hornet staff that summons hornets, which is super cool. The high five, which is a freaking sick ass looking yo-yo. And of course the bee armor, which will help you with your summoner journey if you want to be a summoner. But, ooh, okay, we also have a bee freaking bow. Alright. I'm not gonna lie, I know there's more things the bee thing drops, so that's why I'm like, we gotta see it all. But I think that's everything. You got the bee bow, which of course I feel like launches bees. Wooden arrow transform into bee arrow projectiles, which is super cool. So if you are just rocking wooden arrows, you shoot bees instead of wooden arrows. And the bee gun, which just straight up shoots bees. And I'm pretty sure this is auto-locking, so this is gonna come in real handy. And that's all for the queen bee. I ain't gonna lie, a fairly easy boss, but definitely drop some killer loot. And on we go to the wall of flesh, the final boss of this mod. I'm psyched, guys. I'll see you guys all in the nether. Alright guys, we have made it to the nether, and yes sirree, we are fighting the wall of flesh. But you may be like, Dark, how do we fight the wall of flesh? Well, hold your horses guys, let's first get some ground rules down first. First things first, I highly recommend you guys have flying items come in here. At least the boots, at least the rocket boots, but I would prefer you guys to get the spectral boots, which is, I already show you guys how to craft it, which is the Hermes boots and the rocket boots. Also get a cloud in a bottle, also showed, and I'm rocking these things. All of these were boss items that you got from bosses. And of course, I'm rocking the bee gun you get from the queen bee, mini shark, bee grenades, and some golden apples and some steak. And for armor, you may be like, Dark, what armor are you rocking? I'm rocking the Hellstone armor. Prot 4, like always, I feel like Prot 4 is a must for any of these bosses. And if you're gonna get the armor, might as well Prot 4 it, just so it's easier for everyone, alright? So you'll put your Prot 4 armor, but you may be like, Dark, how do I craft this armor? How do I get Hellstone? How do I get the molten armor? Well, don't worry, I got you. You guys first need to find raw Hellstone across the nether. Be careful because when you do mine it, it does spawn lava blocks. So make sure you have an obsidian skin potion before you mine it and you can get it. Do not worry, the Hellstone is immune to lava and it will not burn in lava, but it will spawn lava blocks. where you break it. So be very careful about that. And then you just need to find one of these hell forges, which are found in these towers all around the nether. Just find one of these towers, go to the red one, and go to the back, and you'll find a hell forge. Just put your raw hellstone in there with some obsidian, and of course a fuel source that my goofy butt forgot. I'm sorry, y'all. Just any fuel source. You just grab it, boing, and then it will start smelting, and it will give you hellstone or hellstone ingots. All right, and then you just go into the crafting table, and you just need hellstone. 2 hellstone are at least, I think, 8. Yeah, 8 hellstone ingots for boots. And then, of course, you can make pickaxe and you can make a sword. You can even make an imp staff, which I highly recommend. But I'm not going to use it because I don't think it's necessary. You can make a bow, which is very good. And this is how you make the molten chestplate. Molten chestplate. This is how you make the molten leggings. Molten leggings. I ain't going to lie. 2 in the helmet formation and then 1 at the very bottom. Then we got the molten helm, which is just 2 all around, and that's how you make the molten armor. Keep in mind, to make molten, to make hellstone, you have to have 3 hellstone, 3 raw hellstone, and 1 obsidian. So for every 3 hellstone, you need 1 obsidian, alright? And now let's get into summoning the Wall of Flesh, which is really easy. You have to have a guide, and you have to kill one of these demon things. One of these demons carrying the voodoo doll. I ain't gonna lie, you just aim for them, and you just take them out. Homie's out here running from me. Homie's God. Homie think he can escape. You think you can get away? No, not today. Oh. This is why it's important to bring flying items. I'm not gonna lie, guys. I highly recommend you guys bring some obsidian skin potions. You can find them like almost... You can find them... Hold up, give me a second. You can find them in the crates I was talking about, the metal crates. Or if you head your way to the very tippy top of this tower and you explored the dungeons, you can get shadow keys. And shadow keys can open these things. So let me just quickly summon let me just get some shadow keys. Shadow keys, these guys can be found in the dungeon in those golden chests that we're talking about. And in here you can get more things. And I'm pretty sure it has a good chance of spawning obsidian skin potions. I'm just extremely unlucky, but trust me, obsidian skin potions here, and they definitely do spawn in the dungeon. Alright? But let's first kill this goober. I ain't gonna lie, I thought these bees were auto-aim, but looks like these bees don't lock onto your enemy, so that kind of sucks. So this is gonna take some aiming. Oh wait, no, they do lock on, Alright. And then you just get the guide. I'm not gonna lie, you should probably do something that I didn't do and build a road. Or like a way to like stretch it, you know? But enough of the chit chat, and let's get straight. Hold up, let me make sure I have my developer blade, because the developer blade comes in clutch. Alright, and enough of the chit chat, let's get the Wall of Flesh going. Alrighty guys, let's get the Wall of Flesh going. And then we summon the Wall of Flesh. The Wall of Flesh has awoken. He's gonna be coming from some area. I do not know where. I think... Yeah, there he is. As you can see, he's across the lava lake. I'm gonna try to deal damage from afar to him, but that's gonna probably be highly unlikely. You have to aim for the eyes, so make sure you're aiming for the eyes. You can't just be shooting anywhere. Aim for the eyes or the mouth area. And then I'm gonna shoot some bees, because they're auto-aim, and they're gonna lock onto homie. Or they're just gonna lock onto anyone but him. Alright, there you go. Wait, my bees are out here doing bad stuff. Oh wait, I'm not shooting anything. Alright. So of course you gotta be careful. I'm gonna launch a few bee grenades. Hopefully that covers my butt. Go bees! Go bee grenades! Go, bee grenades! I have yet to fight this in my survival world, so if I'm like not knowing what the heck I'm doing, that's why. I haven't really prepared for this fight. I prepared for the other ones, but not really this one. I'm just doing it how I would do it in Terraria, which is just go in here with the mini shark. The mini shark seems to be doing its job pretty well. So just keep backing up, drinking your potions like so. Eating your food, and then just keep backing up, drinking your potion like so. And then as long as you have something to stand on and you don't run into, let's say, a lava lake, you should be good. And he seems to be going down. The mini shark's really carrying here, and it's doing awesome damage. So again, highly recommend the mini shark. You just aim for the eyes. The eyes look like it takes extra damage if you shoot at the eyes. So remember, just aim at the eyes and you should be good. Oh look, this is what Hellstone looks like. So just aim. I'm pretty sure at half health he goes a lot faster, or something else happens, because I saw another form, but I'm not sure how we access this other form of the wall of flesh. So we're gonna see here in a second, because homie is on his way to his half health mark. And we're gonna see. Get half health, fool! Get half health! Come on. We just shoot at the eyes. I ain't gonna lie, my cross is bad. My crosshair is hella bad. Because right now the bullets don't look like they're going to where they're going, but trust me, they are going to where they're going. Of course, I'm going to snag on some golden apples, because this is getting hostile. And then we're going to launch some bees. Bee power! Bee power! Whoa. Bro, leave me alone. I got bees on my side. You know how overpowered them bees are? Well, not really. I feel like the bees were a mistake for the wall of flesh. Oh, no. Alright. Well, guys, this is what you don't want to happen. But, of course, developer sword for the win! Alright, there you go. He's dead. And, of course, it spawns up here. Guys, make sure you guys have a pickaxe or something, so that doesn't happen to you. I kind of had to panic last second, and I don't want to start that fight all over. You guys do not have a developer sword, so you got to be careful. And of course, when you kill him, he'll spawn this block on top of you. You just mine up, and you have now entered hard mode. And you're not entering hard mode without a wall of flesh goodie bag. You have a emblem, which I got the summoner emblem. I'm pretty sure there's emblem for ranger, melee, and all the other classes. We got the hammer, which can break the altars. This can break the altars, and every altar you break, you add a new ore to your world. And we got the firecracker, which is a fire, very gas whip, probably the best whip in the game. And we have a demon heart that will add one accessory slot to your thing. So let's pop the demon heart, and then as you can see, we gain one accessory slot. I ain't gonna lie, that is all the bosses currently in the Confluence mod. If you enjoyed the video, don't forget to smash that like button and hit that subscribe button to see more. And like always, guys, thank you guys so much for watching. All of you guys have been cool, amazing, and fantastic. And I'll see you guys all in the next one. Peace out and love y'all. Bye!